It's winter house day, so I'm grabbing my little cup of coffee and my cozy blanket. Courtesy of Bubbly, they sent me a little press packet in honor of winter house. Isn't that cute? It's cozy too. I think this whole Paige and Jess showdown was really just two girls triggered by some childhood stuff, and it was great TV. And I'm really liking this messy Paige. But it really wasn't even a showdown of Paige versus Jess. It was more like Paige versus Lindsay 2.0, which is Paige's words. So clearly it was a little misdirected. Clearly it was a little paranoia because she had just accused Lindsay and Danielle of being the mean girls on Summer House last season. And here Jess was saying this on camera, therefore painting this sort of narrative for her and thus negating her point with Lindsay last season. So, but I thought it was good to see Paige be not so perfect. I like that she's not as controlled. I'm sure it's a little bit of a tension buildup from dealing with Craig too. So I'm here for this. But I'll get all the way into that for this recap of Winter House episode 5. And if you're interested, stay tuned. But if you're new here, welcome to She Speaks Bravo. I'm Emily. And this is what I do. I recap Bravo TV, sometimes a little true crime. I just did the HBO Low Country Murdoch Dynasty, and that was really cool. So if you're interested, check that out in my true crime recap playlist. And if you're already subscribed, love you. Mean it. My name is Emily, and I have been watching Bravo TV as a form of self-care for over a decade. Needless to say, I'm a complete mess. Subscribe and follow along for painfully insightful recaps about Bravo, true crime, and other great TV. Hit that bell. So Pia and I were just discussing, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see, but I have sunglasses on, and Pia's like, "Ooh, if you're wearing sunglasses, I'm gonna wear sunglasses." And I was like, "Yeah, I cannot do my makeup again because I've been doing my makeup all week and I cannot take my makeup off. Like I can't handle that." And I was like, "Cause I always take my makeup off." And I was like, "Pia, you don't ever sleep in your makeup, do you?" And with total confidence, she goes, "All the time." And chronically, she said. And I even in my like drunk college days would take my makeup off.
Full face, baby. Like I'm about to wake up to go on the red carpet.
When you wake up, is it just mascara? Do you you must not like rub your eyes.
No, it looks like that. It looks like the mascara is like, it's the eyes that are the dead giveaway, or sometimes the brows. If I filled it in, I'm like, ooh, those eyebrows are everywhere now.
Wow.
I just don't care. And you know why? Because I've had no repercussions for it thus far. Yeah. I don't get breakouts. It has not aged my skin yet. So I have no like real repercussions for not taking off, besides my like sheets get a little dirty, but then I wash them and they are fine. I'm like, so what? Why are we doing this? Why am I adding the step?
What pillowcase do you use?
I use a satin pillowcase.
Because Kitsch is sponsoring the pod this week.
Oh.
And FYI, guys, go to mykitsch.com/she speaks and get some discounts, because I didn't know about satin pillowcases.
Oh, really?
Until maybe like 5 years ago.
Okay, I get that. I feel like that is when a lot of people started.
Well, if you're in your 20s, start now.
Yeah.
Because it's for the wrinkles.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've tried to be better about taking off my makeup because like it will catch up to me one day, but it's my lifestyle choice, like with like working late. It is, because like I work late and I'm like, I'm just tired. But I've been at least trying to do the makeup wipes, because I know that doesn't like clean it, but it was like We're doing
Okay.
something.
I actually have a hot take. I have not used cleanser in years
Really?
because it would always make my skin break out. And it became a thing for a minute where some acne prone influencers discussed how they've stopped using cleanser and it helped.
Well, you know what it is? I've always used the same cleanser my entire life. That my dermatologist told me to do since I was little, and it never failed me. And
so you're fine.
It's Cetaphil because it's gentle. Because
that didn't work for me either.
I once used like a different product in college or whatever, just because I was like saw it on TV, and I've never had acne really growing up. Thank God. I know that's like the biggest thing for people. And I was using something that was for people who really get acne. And it was just because I saw the commercial. I was like, well, I'm gonna buy this. I'm like, whatever. And when I tell you, it did something to my skin that was so crazy. I had to go to the dermatologist and get like a cream to fix it. Like it started shedding my skin where I was like having like a flesh beard. Mm-hmm. And no matter how much moisturizer I put on my face, it was just kept doing it because it had some type of really harsh chemical in it, and it was like turning my pillowcases, bleaching them. I was like, what is happening from like just from using the cleanser on my face? Like I would go to sleep and my pillowcase would be bleached. It's like, what are you putting in here? Like,
what you've basically just told all of us is that you're very blessed. And have been blessed and don't understand what a lot of us go through. So we're just going to...
You made me talk about this.
I regret it. I totally regret it. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that Pia was going to... It's kind of like when you... I'll never forget this moment ever. I was in a group of people talking about like body stuff, like gaining weight and blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about how it's annoying when like you lose weight and you lose it like in your boobs first, which sucks because you wish you could like keep it in your boobs. And this dumb bitch adds in, she goes, I actually lose it in my stomach first. And we all looked at her like, you needed to just not contribute to this conversation if that was going to be your contribution.
That's true. And I literally just had the same conversation with my friend yesterday because that is my problem. I only lose weight when I lose weight, I lose it in my boobs and my butt. And the last place that wants to lose weight is the stomach. And it's the most, because that's where, like, I don't think anybody cares about any other place, but that's what
that is mine are my hips and my stomach, but they're kind of like the same area, like the midsection.
Yeah. It's the most annoying, stubborn place. And it's the place that makes you feel the most uncomfortable too. When you're like, that's why I'm like, I like some stretch in my pants. Right now, I don't think there's a pair of jeans that I like want to sit in right now.
I don't even own a pair of jeans. I haven't owned a pair of jeans in years.
I don't like jeans.
I've hated jeans my whole life.
Me too.
I've just never, my friend Marilyn, she's always been a jeans girl. She owns so many pairs of jeans. And when she saw that I owned, this is when we were met in our early 20s, I owned one pair of jeans. And I was like, and that's on a bad day that I have to wear them.
That is exactly how I operate. I have one really good pair of jeans. And right now they're not, I honestly have just been doing all the bad things because the dairy does not agree with me. And I know that. And I don't care.
Do too. You know, anyone who knows me knows I've been trying to do no dairy, no sugar. And I'm like, we'll deal with it later, body. You'll just have to accept that my mental state needs dairy and
Thank you.
Sugar.
Lots of it.
Whenever I feel like it.
Yes.
We're not getting around it right now. Okay. So we'll talk about it later, body. You'll just have to stop.
Yeah, it's like I'll be better tomorrow, maybe not.
I keep doing that too. Yeah. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
The hardest part about the tomorrow is that eventually it's today.
Yeah.
I don't like today. I love tomorrow.
It is like, honestly, it could just take the smallest thing for me to just be like, well, I got to order Taco Bell. Look, fuck it.
There it is. Oh, okay.
Great. One tiny obstacle happened in my life and Taco Bell's the answer.
All right. That was a good tight 10. Tight 10 on, I don't know. All right, let's get into Winter House.
Oh, yes,
because
Winter House.
I'm eager to hear your thoughts. This is what I text Pia. So just as like a tease going into this, I text Pia, curious to hear your thoughts on Winter House, because for the first time I felt my age. I didn't give her any other context.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? Let me ask what you thought I meant by that. And then we'll get into it.
I'm still a little confused.
Okay.
By what you meant by that, but I don't know I feel like it's talking about the last bit of it.
Okay. You're right.
It's okay. That's what I thought.
You're right. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're on to something. Okay, we pick up on Paige crying on the mountain with Amanda. Amanda's really like such a good friend to Paige.
She really is.
She's like, I've been in your shoes. He makes you so happy. Paige is one of those people that gets lucky in life, and Amanda's not.
Yeah.
Like when Amanda was going through a relationship like this, she had no one to relate to her. Now that Paige is going through a relationship like this, she has Amanda who fully relates and is like, he makes you so happy. Like, I get it, and I'm not going to beat you up for it like you did to me.
Exactly. Like, I need a full apology on camera from Paige.
And she's not going to give it. I don't know. She had so many opportunities.
Because it's still different to her. Like, in her mind, I think that she's like, well, I'm handling my situation differently. I'm making, like, you know what I mean? I just feel like Paige feels like her situation is not the same, and it's actually much worse, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what Paige says. She's like, I love him so much. I just want him to ostracize people because he has such a big ego. It's just like, chill out for 5 seconds.
It's funny because, like, it's literally exactly what happened in the early stages of Amanda and Kyle's relationship. And the difference is, the reason why it may not feel exactly the same is the difference of your friends, like you said, Emily, are supporting Paige. Where Amanda's friends were also being toxic. So she had toxic friends. She had a toxic boyfriend. So it was just a ball of toxicity around Amanda. And Amanda's taking the high road. So even though Sierra at times calls it out, she's also like not being too judgy. Mm-hmm. And so now, like, when these spats happen, they fizzle out faster between Paige and Craig, like the fights, because no outside people are fueling it like they did with Amanda and Kyle's relationship, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to point out, this blanket I'm wearing was sent to me. Bubbly sent me like a press package.
Oh, nice.
And they have put like sparkling water and this blanket in it in honor of Winter House. Yeah. I forgot.
Well, that was a good touch.
I know.
Emily.
Right? Because I was like, I can't put on makeup. I'm like, so maybe I should make this look like a look. And so I was like, I'll wear a white hat in honor of the snow. And then this blanket. I forgot I didn't like not explain what this was. Okay, so then they adorably take off on their skis. And then, because they had just talked about how the guys are, quote, a lot. Yeah. So they take off on their skis and then they cut over to the guys being so intense on their snowboards with like the music playing. And it was a lot. Like, they are a lot. The guys are a lot. That is official. But you know who's not a lot? The Toms.
They were really a nice little touch to the past 2 episodes. They
knew they needed the Toms. They did. Yeah. And the Toms were like, man, we needed this so bad. Sandoval's like, I cried. We got up on the ski lift. And the Schwartz is like, did I cry? I probably cried.
He's like, I think you cried.
I think you cried. They are like a perfectly packaged brand now.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
It's so professional.
It really is.
And they know exactly how to be natural and but like still on their brand.
Yep. It's almost like they have little taglines or phrases they can bust out.
Yeah, they really figured out early on what the viewers liked and the dynamics that they liked in their friendship. Even when they were like having like contention, it was still so cute.
Mm-hmm.
You never felt crazy because it was almost like they were longing for each other, like a forbidden love, more so than a fight.
Yeah. It's kind of also what kept us hating Katie, because Katie would be like, so mad at Sandoval, and it was like, God, Katie, shut up.
Yeah, like they just want to be friends. And like, do hallucinogenics and write ideas. Like leave them alone.
Like be Ariana. Just let him do it.
Yeah, Ariana's very good at just like, do you. See you when you get home.
Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so the girls, they gather around the fire after they're done, but Jess is like, I want to go again. Her voice is horrendous. I'm having a really hard time with it. And they're like, okay, go ahead. I'm sure the guys are up there. And Rachel's cute. I really like Rachel. She could definitely have been on Summer House for a season, and I would not have minded it. Is she on Summer House for a season?
I don't know.
No, she's not. No, she's not. She totally could have been. She talks about how she gave Jason a kiss. She's not into Jason. It's very evident.
I think that there's no one else in the house at this point for her, so it's a situationship.
Yeah, she's like, I gave him a kiss, and I don't care if we ever kiss again.
She's bored.
Yeah,
she's gonna have fun. It's fun to have like a little person in the house. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But when the guys all come back, by the way, Amanda and Kyle do genuinely seem like they've revived their love.
Yeah.
And I buy it. By the way, oh my God, my sister, my brother, well, I've been calling him my brother-in-law, but they've not been formally engaged. He proposed.
Oh.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring this up is because they've been together almost 10 years. They are like kind of revived in their love. It kind of like made them more romantic. And so it seems like that happened with Kyle and Amanda. They do seem genuinely more lovey-dovey.
Yeah. I think that they would, I don't know if it was the symbolicness of the wedding, but something about that and then them getting their dogs, I think.
Yeah.
And I do think there's something to getting a pet that like you have to like really I feel like Amanda really, like I think Kyle's biggest thing with Amanda is that she wasn't proactive, and I think having the dogs and them fostering before getting the dogs have kind of maybe got her into that like more proactive swing, and I think Kyle has just finally like gotten out of that phase of his life where he needs to like be explosive.
Yeah, good point. But okay, so Jason sits down and Jess sits right on the arm of his chair. She's like, I wish I could have gone on a run with you. And I was like, girl, come on. Like
she's sprung.
But that's on Jason's chair.
Oh, Jason. That was on Jason's? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I was like, you know that Rachel just kissed him. I don't think Rachel really minded, but it had a feel to me that it was like, all right.
I mean, she's definitely that type of girl.
She's that girl.
She's that girl. Like now that Rachel and him are clearly like into each other in something, or you know what I mean? Like that's like a situation. She just always kind of wants to be like, but remember, you like me. I don't like you though.
But yeah. Remember, I came
dangling
with you.
The carrot.
Yeah. Remember, we're friends. So the Toms talk about how they packed LED lights to do a euphoric party. But of course, everyone's like, so what does that even, like, what do we dress like? And Schwartz goes, it's open to interpretation. It's art. Which is so them. So fucking them. That's such a Vanderpump Rules party versus a Summer House Southern Charm party.
Right?
You know what I mean? And
it was the coolest one.
And also I'm like, so this means you guys brought pills of ecstasy.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely brought drugs.
Or acid or something. Like you guys, you brought something.
They brought some. They love hallucinogenics. They brought something. Mushrooms, something
like that.
Yeah.
For sure. Because Austin is fully tripping later.
Yeah.
All right, so back at the house, they're like, okay, we're gonna throw the party downstairs in an hour, and so it's like just shots of everyone like getting ready, and so because they're setting up this scene, so or the scene later. So Jess comes out of the bathroom and having showered, she's like, oh hey, because Paige and Sierra are on the floor, and it's like a long pause, and it just shows Paige being like, hi. I'm like, okay, got it, copy that. Paige is very much that person that doesn't give more than she feels like giving. She's like, what? That's how much I gave.
Yeah.
Okay. You know?
That is so true.
So, and then she's like, I mean, I said hi.
Like, what more do you want from me? Like want me to like make a parade for you? Like, I want you to mean it, Paige. I want you to mean your hi.
Yeah, like we'll get further into it, but like it's that energy.
Yeah, for sure.
Austin's passed out, so Craig wakes him up with pots and stuff, and someone else does too, but I couldn't tell who it was. And then the first question Craig asks is, "Do you miss Olivia?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do, but she's in Vegas." And okay, like I have now admitted I ship Paige and Craig completely. I don't care that he's toxic. I like them together now. I know that he's totally toxic, but he brings out the best in Paige in terms of like reality TV content.
Oh yeah, because before all she does is sleep.
Yeah, and like she has to show us her vulnerability, show us how she would handle tough situations, and they're hot together. So he's like, at least I have mine to cuddle with, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. Okay.
Yeah, but they're also like super toxic. Like he'll be like
absolutely
to
so
others.
Toxic.
To like
he's disgusting.
Like he's like saying this to Austin, fully knowing that that's gonna make him think of Olivia, fully knowing that's gonna become messy.
Oh yeah,
and then like gonna flip it. Like well, he was really all over Sierra. Like they're so annoying.
Oh yeah. No, they're great. They're villains. Yeah. But they're like, I am here for what they bring to this TV show.
I need the drama.
Yeah, like they're the stars of this winter house.
They are.
As much as I hate to say it, they are. Which is why, like, I ship them for all the wrong reasons.
I almost feel like Kyle is taking a vacation. Like
he's loving this. Did you see he went on Watch What Happens Live and he posted? He's like, it was so nice not to be like in the hot seat for once,
right?
Because we talk about all the time how Andy's so mean to him.
Yeah.
He was like, wow, what's it like to go on? This is what it's like to be on Watch What Happens Live and not have Andy just like every game isn't targeted at like, what did Kyle do wrong?
Yeah.
Because that's how all of them always are. He's like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
So good for Kyle.
Good for Kyle.
He deserved it.
He really deserves this season.
He does. He's like, thank you, Craig. This is nice. So moving on. There's a moment where Jess is getting ready and she asks Sierra if she has a hair tie. And this is slightly a simple, just not hearing each other. But Sierra has very much like also bitchy, like quiet vibes too.
Yeah.
But if you don't, Rachel will say it perfectly later. It's like Jess is kind of already in her head about this. So she's going to misinterpret every moment as like, see, they're not paying attention to me. So she's like, do you have a hair tie? And Sierra's like, no, I like had to scrounge up these last two. But because she's around the corner and they can't see each other, Jess finds more hair ties, but Sierra has now left the room. So then Jess is like, oh, here, look, I found hair. Oh. And so Sierra's gone. But now, of course, Jess is like, see, then I try to find hair ties. And then, but it's like, no, it was just, they're all getting ready for a party.
Yeah, it's like, I can't. That's like, I can't be like really good friends with people who need that much of my energy.
Yeah.
No.
But the problem now is, this is where my age comes in. Because now, like, I really hate saying that I'm old enough to look at this and go, oh, okay, they just haven't worked through this part of their lives yet. She's triggered because being in a group of people where you start to go, oh my God, like this reminds me of when I was younger. Until you really hit a certain point in your life where it only just takes experience and just living a certain number of years. She's just now in her head. She's just triggered. She looks like a little kid to me.
Yeah.
And I feel old saying that. And I hate saying that. I hate being that person saying that. But this is where I was like, fuck, I feel old. But I literally was looking at her like, okay. Yeah. She's just like, she looked like a 15-year-old to me.
Yeah, but like she's not. So she.
No, but listen to me though. You guys, I'm dead serious. You will be a 15-year-old until you're over 35. It's weird. Your brain doesn't adjust until you hit a certain age.
Okay.
Not like I would know. But okay, your brain just doesn't quite. And anyone who's over 35 right now is nodding and going, it's true. It's fucking true. Something just tweaks in your brain and you're like, wait a minute. That's why they say like you peak in your 30s. Like you thought you peaked in your 30s and then you hit like an older 30s. Then you peak in your 40s. So I'm like excited for that. Because like you just keep kind of gaining more and more and more wisdom.
Right.
And wisdom can only come from experience and age. And it's fucking annoying because the only way you get there and get that information is to be that old. And then you look back and go, man, I wish I knew that back then. But you can't. You can't know that back then because you're not meant to know that back then.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. It does.
So you're going to be, not everyone obviously is as, sorry to say this, dumb as Jess, because Jess is the definition of dumb. She can't even get names right. And then like I'm not defending her, but she looks like one of the most underdeveloped people we've seen in a long time on Bravo TV, which is almost kind of like, why'd they have her on this show if not to make fun of her?
I mean,
like
yeah.
She seemed like she was cast to be made fun of.
She's like the Raquel.
She's the Raquel, but like way sluttier. At least Raquel was like innocent and sweet. Yeah. Jess is like, I am gonna show my pussy.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I get all of the age thing, but within the house right now, she is the most annoying. Mm-hmm. And that is just what it is. And I can understand the girls just being like, the thing is, I really don't think that the girls
they're not intentionally doing it at all.
They don't, it's like, it's so unintentional that they had no clue what was happening. And that's, I think that's the biggest frustration. I think this is where I don't even like really Sierra and Paige. And I'm finding myself being like, I would completely be annoyed by this whole situation if I was in it, because it's like, girl, I really am not thinking about you that much. And if this was the problem, like, I like later on when Paige says, like, I told her she can shower in my bathroom. How much more open can that be? Like, it's like, stop. Like,
yeah, it's true. No, I'm able to see all sides.
Right.
But it's also like, this is going to just be a memory where they're like, oh my God, I was so stupid.
Yeah. And it's not going to.
That's all that memory is going to, all this is going to be eventually is like, oh my God, that was so dumb of me.
I absolutely think that it is honestly nothing that's happened so far is going to be anything that's going to be like they can't ever be friends in the future. But I can
Although
tell you
I don't know if they'd ever want to be friends with Jess.
I don't know if they would ever want to be friends with Jess, but I don't think anything that she's done or that has transpired so far would be like, oh, we could never be
exactly
friends with her. But my thing is, I don't know if it would be anytime soon or if she would even be asked back to the house or like how that's going to work, because some of these little things that she's saying to Rachel and in her confessionals or to Corey about especially Paige is going to rub Paige wrong, and she's the alpha in this like friendship girl group for the other like between Amanda and Sierra and Paige. She is like the alpha, and they will all follow suit with whatever the decision she's made on Miss oh my God, I'm gonna call her Lindsay.
Well, there were a few shots in this episode where I was like,
Lindsay?
Oh my God, that is Lindsay.
I know, it was creepy.
At the flower shop, I was like, that's Lindsay, dude. That's fucking Lindsay.
She always kind of looks like Lindsay, but in this particular episode she almost like, and even Paige says it at one point, like, I'm not dealing with another Lindsay.
Well,
like,
that was
and it was like
oh, that was telling.
She probably was triggered talking to her, thinking she was talking to Lindsay.
Yeah.
But what is her name?
Jess.
Jess. she's been saying like little things like the name thing that she was like, I feel like Paige, and they did like flashbacks of when she was originally talking to Rachel in the room when they both were saying that they did feel a little ostracized by the girls that first time a couple episodes back. And she's like, it's because like the pay, like I'm like keep calling Corey Craig, and then like she's decided in her head Paige doesn't like her because she keeps calling Corey Craig, and she thinks that she created that narrative in her head and has thrown it out there as almost fact. And I don't think Paige is going to like that when she watches that back. And if they have a reunion, I don't think they'll have a resolve because of that, because they'll have to bring it up. If they don't have, I think it would be better for them if Winter House doesn't have a reunion, because they won't have to like drudge it up. You know?
Yeah.
And then also she's then did the same. And then now that's going to, then she did it with Sierra, saying that I think that they also don't like me because now I've, slept with Corey, and like essentially that's my man now. And they wanted Corey for Sierra. And I ruined that because that's my man now. And now they're making it seem like Sierra is fighting with another person that she's not fighting with. Another Lindsay. It's going to all be all triggering for them. And it's all stupid and all high school. But I can see that it's going to be a thing, especially in retrospect when they both Sierra and Paige watch it back, because they love a little alliance grudge.
Yeah. The biggest difference with Jess versus like a Lindsay is that Lindsay was strong, or Lindsay is strong.
Correct.
Jess is like underdeveloped, man. It's like they pulled her out of like a bunker where she was held captive forever. I'm like, where has she been? Is she like not seen society?
Well, I think Jason somehow got a little bit of Lindsay's DNA and made a clone that didn't quite didn't quite bake all the way.
It's totally what it feels like, dude. Okay, so the party, the girls are in their slutty clothes, and Austin makes a point to say, I'm gonna be looking at underboob all night. I'm like, oh, Olivia's gonna love this when she gets to watch this. The Toms are like, oh wait, go ahead. Sorry, I just totally cut you off.
No. I was gonna say, I was trying to do a little sleuthing yesterday, and I'm pretty sure they said this on the Southern Charm reunion. They're not together, right? Anymore, Austin
They're
and
not,
Olivia.
but they were hanging out on Halloween.
They were?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But he was hanging out with Taylor and Olivia, so they were all hanging out together. I mean, so was Catherine was there. I mean, it's Charleston. It's a really small town.
Right. I was trying to see if like, because I know that they were like on and off, and I was trying to see if they were like on right now. So I was trying to like do like Instagram looking and stuff like that, and they don't have any pictures, but that doesn't mean anything because I barely have any pictures with Sean. And then, but there's no liking the pictures of each other in the past.
Okay.
So that to me,
in the past few days,
the past few the first 3 photos of each, like I don't really see the liking of each other's stuff. So I'm like, that was to me is telling. You know what I mean?
I'm sure watching this, even if they were like kind of doing friend stuff, like, oh, we're gonna be cool, this coming out probably did not help.
No,
this probably reignited some anger on her side. Okay, so their Toms are just so grateful to everybody for having them. So they do that buzz shot thing that they do. Mm-hmm. At one point, the girls are like taking selfies, and Corey and Jess look over, and she's like, it feels like they're the cool kids and they just leave me out. I feel like I'm at the high school dance all over again. So I'm telling you, this chick has like not worked through a lot. So, okay, Paige, I loved this scene. Paige is taking selfies like on the stairwell by herself, and Craig comes in and is like, baby, let's take some pics, which is, I just think it's so funny that they're so beautiful that they take they do like photo shoots together.
Yeah.
Like, what a relationship.
Also, I'm very jealous that Paige has somebody that wants to take pictures. Sean doesn't. He's like, hurry up and get it. I'm like, oh my, come on.
I wonder if Paige. I mean, I wonder if Pia and Sean do this.
No, I wish.
I think it's better that he doesn't.
Content. I
think it says something more about Sean's character that he's not like, yeah, let's take photos of me.
Yeah, no. doesn't care. And I like get some really good ones of him. And I'm like, look at this. I'm like, can you take some pictures of me? And it's like,
oh no, that's always the problem.
I'm like, what the fuck was this?
You're like, do you hate me?
Yeah. Like, I was like, how am I getting he's getting better though. I will say that.
Yeah. Good. Good.
But yeah, no, he's like that. He's never going to be one of those people who are like, let's do a whole photo shoot. No,
let's take some selfies, babe.
No, definitely not. He's like, can we just? He's more of like, let's enjoy the moment. Memories live up in your head. I'm like, not when I'm old and I forget what I look like.
Yeah,
I want those to look back on.
Craig is like, so I was fired up the first few days, and now I just really feel just like, and Paige cuts him off like, okay, good, because I take your energy, and so when you're upset, I get upset, and I don't like that. I don't feel like I'm involved. I don't like feeling like I'm involved in a confrontation. She's doing this really carefully. Really carefully.
Yes, she is.
And it's actually pretty well done. Like, it's what this is, why she's good in this relationship is because she's clearly very good at tiptoeing around a volatile person.
Yes.
So I don't know where she learned this skill, but she's got it down. I don't like being involved in a confrontation I'm personally not involved in. And I feel like when you become a couple, you automatically become an extension of the other person, which I was like, oh, okay, so she's talking about Kyle and Amanda. Got it.
Yeah, she definitely was.
So, and I love the fuck out of you. So I don't ever want to feel on edge because when you're uncomfortable, I like immediately get uncomfortable. And Craig is now bumbling. He's like, yeah. Like, I mean, I know. Yeah. Like he's now freaked out because this is probably the most, because I'm sure they fought over like the Naomi stuff in the beginning and like stuff about like cheating-y type of things, but never about Craig's true inner being of crazy.
Yes.
Right? I'm sure she's always left this alone. But then she says, because I don't ever want you to feel like I don't have your back, because I do. And I was like, oh, he loved that. And that right there was when he went, no, you did everything perfectly. I was like, okay, well, that probably was the most toxic conversation ever, even though it was kind of the most perfect conversation for their relationship.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
So toxic, but so perfect.
Like, you did everything perfectly, and he meant that. Like, it's like, you let me be a raging, crazy person and didn't lecture me, belittle me, take up for anybody. You pretty much was in a corner quiet and let me do what I was going to do. And I think he's like that type of person. It's like, just talk to me in private. Like, he never wants to be talked to in front of people. Like, you know what I mean?
In his confessional, he says, Paige patiently sat through days and days of me fighting with her friends and never said a single thing to me. Oh, he said that with a straight face.
I know. And he was like so proud of it. Like,
he's
look
like,
at her.
Look at her. She's so trained.
Like, or you need to be like, I would have liked a follow-up sentence like, I need to be better.
And I guess that's what he thought he said.
He didn't. What he said is like, great. Moving forward, that's how it will be.
No, he said, I'm just relieved, but I'm also nervous because I don't know how many more of these chances I'm going to get.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. He did say that. Okay, I'll give you that. He did say that.
He said that, which actually kind of, I was like, well, maybe this was her training him. I actually was like, maybe.
Yeah, maybe she's read a little book.
Maybe she is training Craig.
Well, he did say, I believe it was at BravoCon, that he wasn't drinking as much or something because, like, I think of Paige, like in the sense of like he saw himself. I think he was saying it, especially on Winter House. He was just kind of a bit more out of control, so he's tried not to. I think that's what he said at BravoCon. So hopefully that's true. We will never know until the next time his next season, like on Southern Charm, or if he pops up on
Summer House.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because when he said this makes me nervous because I don't know how, because he's clearly not the type who responds to what Naomi did, which is constantly pointing it out in front of people.
Right.
No, don't do that. Paige,
and that's who he was referring to when he said she did it perfectly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Paige let him do that and basically tire himself out.
Like a toddler.
Waited for the perfect moment for him to say, all right, so I was a little crazy, but now I feel, she's like, good, because, and then very delicately said, because, when you're uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable, because, couples, basically, they become extensions of each other, but I always have your back. That was so like Italian of her. Like, but I always have your back. And then he was like, okay, wait, hold on. I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to get away with this. And I was like, is Paige a genius?
She is a genius. And I think that, to me, what Paige did, and again, this is so crazy because I think we both have acknowledged this conversation in itself is a toxic one.
Horrible.
But for their relationship, it was a perfect conversation. Because I think what Paige did was cut the 5 years it took for Amanda and Kyle to get to their place in this one conversation. Because I think, again, the reason why Amanda and Kyle kept going in that really toxic loop with each other specifically is because one, they were not getting what they needed from the other person in the way that they emotionally deal with things. Mm-hmm. So Amanda, when you just said, Paige said, I don't want you to think I don't have your back. I always do, and I always will, or whatever.
Exactly.
That's something Amanda never made clear to Kyle.
Yep.
And she would constantly talk shit about him with Paige and Hannah and Sierra, and that when you do that, it undermines your partner. And I'm not condoning what all of Kyle's done, obviously, but if you've chosen to be in this relationship, right, you have to be in it, right? And I think that I think Amanda first started getting her wake up call about being a little bit more loyal to Kyle with the Hannah fallout, and then that's when I really started seeing a change in the way the relationship was operating.
Right, because Amanda would also do the open nagging.
Yeah.
Kyle.
He couldn't do anything.
And he'd be in front of everybody. Yeah. And so it's so emasculating.
And how many drinks have you had?
In front of everybody.
And I think that's the biggest difference with Paige, is that it's not that she doesn't see it, and it's not that she's not acknowledging it, but she's not going to villainize him in front of everyone. As much as it pains her sometimes. That's some loyal shit, and I can fucking ride with that shit. Mm-hmm. I like that.
So that's what I'm saying. I like Craig and Paige for all the wrong reasons. Because
I know, and it's
Craig is bringing out this cool side of Paige.
I know. I feel like everyone's gonna be like, "Are they on crack? They need therapy?"
I've already said this, so people have already been able to judge me for it. So now you're just being pulled into the.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, they're hot together. Mm-hmm. I do think that they have a mutual respect and love for each other. So honestly, good luck to everyone around them. But within their little nuclei relationship, they're good.
Yeah. So they're kind of perfect for each other.
Yeah. Good luck though to everyone else that encounters
them. Good luck to everyone else. Good luck to all of Craig's friends, because he's a horrible friend. Yeah. But for each other.
Yeah.
Great.
Doing great, guys.
So I just happened to catch this because I hit pause at the perfect time, but the very next shot, I hit pause and the captions were, "Do you like cum in your face?" And so I was like, who is this? And so it's Austin spraying Sierra with silly string.
Oh my God. I didn't. What?
Yeah. And then the next thing is Amanda being like, "It's not good when you are mean flirting, Austin." And then it's this is the moment where Austin's like, "Oh, I looked at her boobs again, Craig." So clearly Austin is rolling or something.
Yeah.
Something's going on. then Kyle and Amanda ask Schwartz about Katie. And it's wild that at this point, Katie had already sat him down and asked for a divorce, and he's just not talking about it. But it's wild that already happened.
And he's doing a really good job at not making it obvious.
Right?
I would be a mess.
I'm impressed at his ability to compartmentalize.
He said he needed this, so.
Yeah. Corey makes Rachel do some shot out of a bag or something. And then Rachel and Jason make out, and the editors cut together these like reactions, but I'm like, these are not even related to what's happening. They cut together like Kyle being like, whoa, and Austin being like, whoa. I'm like, they're not even reacting to, like, stop, guys. It's not that big a deal that people are kissing at a party.
Right.
But then they do give us a super hot shot of Paige and Craig making out. And I was like, can we get more of these? Because that is what's hot about them. Okay, I really, really wish that Corey and Jess turned me on more, but they really just gross me out. Yeah. So they're on the couch, like, talking, and she's pulling. I'm like, this is her. She has no game, just so we're clear. Because she's pulling the, like, are you really interested in me? You're just trying to get pussy game. I'm like, that's your game? Like, you're in winter, like, enjoy it. Have some fun. What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
But Amanda goes and puts her polar bear costume on. This is where I was like, oh, Austin is tripping balls. Because she comes out and Austin's like, who is this? Who is this? Who's in there? And then when Amanda pulls, he's like, I will fight you. And then when Amanda pulls it off, he's like, I knew it was Amanda. Like, okay, maybe he's on acid. Like,
he's on Molly or something.
He's hippie flipping. He's got Molly, he's got acid, he's got a couple things going on.
Austin was definitely on something, and that's why I feel bad for him later when, like, you know, you like wake up and like, yeah,
because I died at that point. Hold on, let me wait till we get there. Sorry, Austin's a mess. Believe me,
I love Austin,
but we are sorry. We're sorry, guys.
I was really hard on him during Summer House, but it had nothing to do with like me not liking him or ever. Like, I've always.
I don't even think we were that hard on him. So I think we actually liked Austin.
We did, but it was like the whole like we never really
actually we were the ones who were uncomfortably like, we think Austin is funny.
Yeah, I think we were just like, he's just like, whenever I say like he's an idiot, it's not because I like don't like him. It's like, he just is.
He's an idiot.
Yeah,
and he even admits it later. But he's always entertaining.
He is. He's good TV. He's really good TV.
Horrible to women. So just don't get involved with him romantically, and then you'll be good. But then fucking Corey starts like going down on Jess on the couch. I'm like, go in a bedroom. Like,
they liked it. They wanted people to see. And
then Rachel's like, oh, don't go down there. I'm like, yeah, that's inappropriate. Luke's like, someone's getting finger banged on the couch. And then she's like, I don't think you understand how much I want you inside me. I'm like, I wish I was turned on by this because I love a good like sexy moment, but I'm grossed out. You guys gross me out. Corey's face grosses me out.
Like, I mean, I would personally not be like, I really hate his pearl necklace.
I hate his pearl necklace.
Because it just, again, he seems like a guy, like by the way, I think it's very easy for him to get girls. It's clear he knew exactly what Jess, I think honestly he went for Jess because Sierra would be way too hard.
No, and Jess, so I kind of figured out why it all grosses me out. He knows what he's doing too well. It's actually like emotionally manipulative and sexually manipulative. And Jess clearly has some issues. Jess kind of gives me the vibe of someone she's like very victim-y. Very like someone who was taken advantage of or something. Yeah. Like she seems very vulnerable and like someone who uses her sexuality too much and is like, here, if I give you this, will you like me kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like he's preying on her. It feels like he's very much manipulating her. He's admitting he's manipulating her. And it was cute at first. I was like, damn, he knows what he's doing. But the fact that he goes in her room and like fucks with her on purpose, like, oh, I'm not going to stay in here, but then he just was intending on staying in there. I don't know. It's
what it is. It's hurtful because she's just it'd be different if it was very clear that he just wants to hook up and this is not serious, but he's playing these like weird, emotionally manipulative, sexually manipulative games, and she is completely not privy to it, and he's essentially laughing at her that she's fallen for it in his confessionals, and it feels gross because it's like you feel like you're watching someone get violated. Even though like she's by the way, she was completely into it, but it's like the way consensual. Yeah, it was very consensual, but it was the way in which he went about it. It just felt icky. It feels like when you're young and you're dating and guys are like, I feel like he's a little too old to be doing what he's doing, right? Like that's some like really like high school, he got early 20s.
I don't even know if it's that. It's like it's almost like he's got his hands on some information that he's using. He's like, it's got power that he's misusing.
Yeah, but like I feel like but I feel like this is like behavior that you would see out of like really immature young like men, like, or he's just
or like a predator.
Yeah, or a predator. That's what I'm saying. Like he's like I can't even like. You usually would be able to excuse away this type of behavior on your age, and he's too far past that. So
which
now
makes
this is
him
just
like a predator.
Yes,
right?
That's what I mean. Like now, that's a character trait.
Fuck, dude.
And
like,
I don't know if that's like some. I don't know.
Because as we get further into it, the stuff he does and says to her, I'm like, dude, fuck you.
I feel like he's on the wrong. This is what it feels like.
He's on the wrong show.
Yeah, it feels
wrong
like
network.
I feel like he's on like he's supposed to be on like one of those MTV shows where it's like
The Challenge or something.
The Challenge or like the Are You the One?
Oh, yeah, I feel like I
feel like he should be on Are You the One, and that's why the energy is feeling really weird because this is not. We don't do this on Winter House or Summer House or
Pia.
This is weird.
You are so on point because I have insider info that he actually was auditioning to be on Bravo for a while, but the note was he just doesn't seem like he's Bravo.
He doesn't.
And that's because that's exactly. I was like, there's just something not right about him. He doesn't make sense on this. Like Jason seems like Bravo, but Corey does not. Corey feels like he's too intense. He's too like sleazy. He's too like, ugh. I don't like him at all.
I actually don't feel like Jason feels like Bravo to me.
He does for me. He feels like a 2-season wonder.
I don't know. I feel like Jason and him should be on Are You the One because Jason also has this thirsty element about him.
Yes, but he's winning over fans.
Not this one.
Not this one either.
Not this one.
He won me over last season. He won me over last season.
I didn't like him last season either. I could literally.
But you got good radar on that.
I know. The thing is, and for me, the reason why I say I don't think that he's Bravo material, in my opinion, is just because he is too thirsty, and I feel like people on Bravo have like the ones that are really really good and that are not gonna like be the ones that fizzle out and you only see them 1 or 2 seasons are the ones who really know how. Like we like natural, even if you're producing natural people, and I feel like both of them are so aware of the camera all the time, and it bugs the shit out of me, and I'm like, take that on to MTV because MTV loves that type of energy. The reason why I'll say I see what you're saying, but I think that Jason did a good enough job season 1. For me. Right. He did a good enough, but like Corey, this is his first season, and immediately just his face doesn't look like Bravo. Like when I saw his face, I was like, oh. Yes. And I can agree with you. I can agree with you on that. Like Jason is not like somebody who sticks out like a sore thumb for me, but as I've gotten to know him in these 2 seasons, it's this like second season, I'm like, oh, no. I'm done. Like second season is like where you sink or swim. Agreed. I'm not mad. Yeah, I'm not mad at that they brought him back, but that's why Andrea quickly got to go to Summer House after his first season because he had that it factor. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't that convinced about Andrea at first because I couldn't tell. Me too. But Summer House is when I really got to see him and his everything and how amazing he is, and also did not realize he was in the Taylor Swift music video. What? A recent one? No, No, an old one.
Like, yeah. I saw that.
What? Like, okay. Like, this man.
He started following me.
Yeah, you suck. I get like, what? He's like, honestly, like.
He's so sweet.
Like, what? He's unreal.
No, he's so sweet. I shared, because he posted a reel. It started out with the behind the scenes of a photo shoot he was doing, and then like the final product. And I shared it with the caption in my stories. I shared in my stories with the caption, like, when you see the behind the scenes, kind of silly, but then when you see the final product, and I use like fire emojis, and you can see who shared. You can like go and do like view shared, like who shared it. So clearly he went through to see who shared it, and he replied to the story with like kissy faces and hearts. And of course, like, just because it's from Andrea, you're like, oh my God, I can see him making kissy faces at me. And so I just liked it or something. And then a couple of seconds later, he started following me. And I just his stupid face, seeing this face following me, it's like, God, he just is that hot and like swoony.
Yeah.
That like him being kind just makes your whole heart melt. He just is one of the most little magical Bravo lebs to have graced our presence. He won us over.
Yeah, he's so genuine. Like, even bringing coffee every single day in Winter House to both Sierra and Paige.
Both.
Jason trying to do the same thing one day,
and he did not do it right.
Did not.
He's like,
yeah, it was
never mind. He's like,
too
I'll never do this again.
Yeah, he's too thirsty. Got it. He needs to really like, and it's so like, you're very good looking, Jason. Like, why are you?
Yeah,
you lack confidence.
I think because when he really got edited the fuck out of Summer House. Remember when he went to Lindsay's party? And so I feel like we
saw a glimpse of him, and then
they did not even give him a moment. So I feel like he's insecure and trying to do the most to make sure he like gets his time, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised though, going back to Corey, if we don't see him again on Bravo. But this, you know what, good for him, because, you know, I think he'll definitely get to be in the influencer world, and he'll get picked up on another show.
I hope they don't have like non-competes or anything like that.
I'm sure they don't. I feel like they need people to be all over the place. Like, more eyes everywhere, right? Is the best thing.
I don't
know. Who knows?
Okay. It's bedtime, but Schwartz is leaving, which was like, oh my God, I wanted to throw up at the thought of like getting on a flight after partying and not sleeping. I
kind of wanted to know why his flight was so early.
Me too.
Like, why did you book a 5 a.m. flight? I don't think you guys are hurting for money. When I book flights that early, it's because it's the cheapest thing, and I'm like, I can't afford anything else.
And Sandoval's only leaving a few hours after that. I was like, what did you guys need to get back for?
Right. I'm like, why? I was just so confused of like why you guys didn't leave together, and it wasn't that many hours of difference. I'm like,
ugh. I know. I had all the same questions. I was like, why are you not on the same flight? Why is it this early? Can you please give us details? I need to hear it, but they didn't give us any details.
I felt like there was something to it. It was there.
haunting to see them getting up that early after partying like that. Haunting. But Schwartz is like, can I come back next year? I would love that. It's like, nice. Well done, Schwartz. Of course you're invited back.
Of course. And I'm because now he's not with Katie. He may be on the whole season.
No, don't. They should only do guest appearances.
I mean, I agree too, because they're just
don't ruin it.
They're too much of stars.
They should only do because too much is not a good thing. Just this little boop, pop in, perfect.
Right. That's
they
how I
should
feel
not
about
ruin it.
That's how I feel about Kathy Hilton. I don't want her to be a full-time diamond
Never
holder.
be full-time because people forget. This is what happened when Will and Grace, the cast of Will and Grace, came back and did that cute little sketch, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, you guys should totally revive Will and Grace." And then they did. And sorry if you guys were fans of the revival. I thought it was horrible, but of course it went on to win Emmys because you can buy those. But you too much of a good thing.
Yeah, I every reboot with the original cast. I don't like. First of all, I don't like reboots without the original cast. I don't like reboots with the original cast. Let it rest.
Let it live over there, because then when you can't bring something back from the dead.
Yeah.
because then it looks like you brought it back from the dead.
Yeah, and then it's like the time has passed.
The vibe, the chemistry, it's all different. That's what made it good, was the chemistry then.
Yeah, like I would never want a revival of Friends.
Oh my God, please don't. That's what I thought they were doing when they did that HBO special thing. That's what I thought it was. And I was like, oh, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
But then it just ended up being like an interview. And I was like, this is much better.
It would never work.
Oh God, no.
No.
They're cutting around to everybody sleeping. And I like Austin sleeps with a blanket over his head and headphones in, like a little cocoon, which was like very on brand. Sandoval leaving early, and then his confession, he's like, everyone had a great time, and that means everything to me.
Oh, okay.
Sandoval
is just so Sandoval.
He's so extra. He's so
extra real about it. I love it though.
So Kyle and Amanda are going to go to see his grandma who's turning 99, and then they cut over to Craig and Paige baby talking in the bed about going on a date. It's a really cute, cozy bed moment, but I can't handle their baby talk. I really like Craig's baby talk voice is like, please don't show too much of this. Like, I need this can be minimized. The baby talk can be minimized. Making out, we can increase, minimize the baby talk. Okay. Okay. So Jess goes in and tells Rachel about Corey. And thank God for Rachel, because I can't handle Jess talking about sex, because it's like Jess is not, I can't with her sex talk, but I love Rachel's reactions. So Rachel's like, okay, tell me, is he like average? And Jess is like 11 inches. And okay, so I'm pretty sure that what Rachel said was, ow, did he rearrange your organs? But the way it came up on my captions was, did he rear end your organs? And
Still
I can't
good.
tell which one I like better.
Either way, I'm happy with both.
Either way, I'm
happy with both. I can tell you that.
Right? And then Jess goes, he made me squirt everywhere, which I was like, okay.
I feel like she's just like lying too now.
But
like,
and here's the thing, like I am one to talk about, I love a good sex conversation. Because I haven't been laid in a long ass time. And let me tell you, when I do get laid, I will tell the fun story. But the way she's telling it, somehow I'm like, ew, I don't want to hear it. Like, I love when a friend gets laid, I'm like, I will pull up and listen, like, go on. But somehow I don't like it. But then Rachel, she goes, I'm never laying in your bed again.
I mean, she's not washing those sheets.
I'm like, she better have stripped that bed, okay?
No, she didn't. She wants to bathe in that.
Okay, so Jess then talks about what we were talking about earlier. She's like, okay, now I think that the reason why I also hate that she talks in this like massive whisper that it's like unnecessary. She's like,
yeah,
I think that Paige and Sara are weird with me. I'm like, speak up, girl, please. But she's convinced it's because they were trying to hook up Sierra with Corey. And like you said, this is projection.
It is.
I'm telling you, she's got a sex thing. She's got some sort of issue here. Like there's something in this realm, because she's either used to being used for her body. She was abused in there's something there, because she is used to getting attention sexually and then being judged for it. She's got some deep-seated issues.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Because Rachel's like, huh? Because Rachel doesn't have those issues. And so she's like, well, do you ever just like go in their rooms and talk to them? Because that's what I do. And Jess is like, no. Well, okay. So like you have to make an effort.
Yeah. Like why? I don't know why she thinks she's owed them exerting that much effort. Like what? Yes, I guess because they're the people that have been doing this, so she feels like you guys should be trying to come and bring me in, but it's like we're all adults.
Yeah,
not
and
everyone's meant to be. If you
want to hang out, like you got to go be like, hey guys, like you just have to try a little bit. You just have to put a little bit of effort first.
And you know what? If she was doing, this is a perfect example of that. If she was putting in the actual effort, like Jules was in Summer House that one season. And still kind of that was clear. Like they weren't vibing with her. She tried every freaking thing she could do. And that is when I could be like, okay, I see you have made an effort and they are not vibing with you. And I can see why you would feel left out because you are being left out because they don't vibe with you. She's not doing that. She's not done anything to make – every time she talks about this, they don't compliment me. First of all, who the fuck says that? Like, they don't compliment me enough. What? Like, that was really weird.
That was we'll get into that.
That was weird. But like her like feeling like I've just never seen like every time she talks to them, they're talking with her and joking or like they're actually giving her the time of day. They're not ignoring her.
Yeah.
The only weird thing, which again was like a miscommunication, was the Sierra hair tie thing. But that was not a big deal because if she had seen our perspective, it was just she walked out. She didn't even know that you were she can't see that you're looking for anything for her, and she just walked out to the next room. Like, it's not a big deal. And I get that it felt like that for you because you're in your head and you've created a narrative, but that was not what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me being a Sierra defender. I don't even like her.
Right? I know. Paige defenders. I'm like, okay, here we go. Things are different in the Winter House. Amanda and Kyle go to the grandma's, and then Rachel goes into Paige and Craig's room. Sierra's in there as well, and they're chit-chatting. Meanwhile, Jason's talking to Luke about the whole kiss thing in the kitchen. It's just like downloading a little bit on the kiss that happened. Yeah. It's very minor. But Jason does compare the pacing of Rachel and him to last year with Lindsay. And all it did was really show me that like Lindsay's the one who takes the relationship by its horns and drags it to wherever the fuck she wants it to go.
Yeah, she does.
Like, so if you like Lindsay, this is where I realized that like this is why Lindsay pulls in so many guys. Like, she's just one of those women. It's like you fuck her once and she's like, oh, it's on.
Yeah. But it is so funny. But the thing is, she does it in a way where like they're like, yeah, I'm down to do this. And unfortunately for Jess, I feel like I'm sure we'll see in the upcoming episodes. I feel like Corey is gonna like do what the typical next move would be is he's gonna like just stop giving her all the attention and move on to someone else, because I feel like he's loving this little toyish game, and then he'll go back to her and it's gonna be like this whole thing.
Yeah.
Hey.
Corey's dangerous.
He's very dangerous.
Corey's very dangerous.
He's literally playing Are You the One? And I'm like, you're on the wrong show.
Yeah, no, yeah. Okay, Luke goes into Austin's room. This is like in the morning. And Austin is waking up, like coming off all his drugs. Like, whoa.
Yes.
Like still tripping. And so Luke's like, so how's it like being here when you have a history with someone who is clearly a beautiful woman and you get a couple drinks in you? And Austin's like, yeah, I caught myself last night looking like, stop it. And apparently Sierra's the last person he slept with. So I'm doing the math, okay? Southern Charm. The last person he slept with would have been when the dog wedding happened.
Yeah.
Sierra was in town. They slept together. Olivia and Austin hung out for the rest of the season. So they didn't sleep together once that whole time?
See, I was a little confused about what he was saying. I thought that's what he was saying initially too, but then I was like, he must be misspeaking. He must be meaning she's the last person I slept with since, like, and it omitted the part of, like, since being with Olivia. Like, that was the last girl. That's what because I'm like, there can't be any way that they haven't slept together. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just how she is and she doesn't, she takes things very slow. But I just can't believe that him and Olivia haven't had sex. So I'm like, I have to assume that he misspoke and he meant, like, since dating, like,
okay.
Before dating Olivia, like Sierra was the last person I slept with.
Okay, there we go.
So like he's only like been with two, like it's currently Olivia.
Okay.
And last one was Sierra. That's what I was like. I was like, that has to be what he meant.
Cause
couldn't possibly. There's no way. There's no way.
Cause yeah,
unless it would be like he just told on himself and they've been like doing it while he's clearly talking to Olivia, which I don't think he would. And I feel like
announce on camera. No,
I don't think he would announce on camera. And if he did, I think that he would have been freaking out more in that conversation. Like, oh shit, I just like let that slip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that didn't make sense.
And then that would have like traveled around the house, and it would have been a more of a thing.
Yeah. But then Luke mentions, he's like, yeah, you were chatting with Sierra, and Austin cuts him off and is like, I was chatting with her.
Okay. He was like, oh no.
What the fuck were we What the fuck were we talking about?
He was like, oh no. I could like the oh no moment, like, because you know when you're like on hallucinogenics or drugs or whatever, you just start be chatty and talking, and he's like, I don't even know what I said.
His eyes looked, he was like haunted. He was like, what? For how long? What was the vibe? Did you catch any tidbits?
He is freaked.
Oh my God, panic. So then what does he do? He calls Olivia.
Yeah, because he's
Let me call her right now. Babe, I miss you. You look gorgeous. Oh my God, let's come here.
Yeah, that's a guilty conscience right there. And I feel like he needed that because he was like, I'm scared that I think he really does like Olivia, and he's like, don't. And he's with Craig. Craig will throw this in his face at some point. He's like, I can't have like, I think he feels like I haven't done anything too bad right now or unforgivable, but I might soon because I'm a fuck up.
It's
and he's like,
very likely.
And in his mind, it's like, if she's here, I can't because I will be reminded because she's here. And that's like, gonna get to invite her. Just come here right now. Like,
I miss you. Come here right now. Please.
It's a terrible idea. I wanted it to happen though.
Yeah.
So badly.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been the ultimate mess.
It would have been so good.
Okay. Another little moment just to point out because they're trying to show this. Oh, wait. First, Luke asks Paige if she wants a bagel.
Oh God. And I when he said bagel, I was like, I fucking hate that. He said it like that.
Yeah, and the way Paige is like, wait, I don't like the way you say bagel. It's like, bagel? She's like, what? Bagel. He's like, no, that's just how I say it. And I was like, okay, but you could change that, Luke. You are making a conscious decision to say it like that. It's to piss everyone off.
I don't like it. I hated it. It's so, I was really actually happy Paige said it because I was what's the word? I was just really upset for no reason. Well, not, you know what I mean? It was just like crazily upset when he said bagel. It's like bagel. Cringe.
Rude. But okay, so Sierra, Paige, and Jess are in the kitchen, and Jess goes to Paige, you put hot sauce on your bagel? And Paige responds. She's like, well, there's bacon in the cream cheese. So when you think about it, it makes sense. So of course I'm like she's talking to you. I'm only noting these because I'm like, these are opportunities for Jess to then go, okay, we're good. You know what I mean? Like I'm only noting these because I need. Okay, moving on.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. These little moments is how you start building a friendship, and you can get like inside jokes. Like we both. Yes, that's that. That I completely get what you're saying. That's why I think that I'm just like so frustrated with the whole Jess narrative of their being mean, because I actually, knowing Paige for these many years that she's been in Summer House, like you can't get, if Paige doesn't want to have a conversation with you about a bagel, she won't.
Yeah, she'll be like,
so this is
like
her
shrug.
way. Yeah, this is her way of saying that she's open. And I mean, you're not reading her body language. Like,
hello.
No one's reading body languages in the Winter House.
Kyle and Amanda go to his grandma's, and it was really cute because she clearly is like, you know.
She was adorable.
Maybe she has like dementia or something, so she's like nonverbal because she reminds me of my grandmother. And so it was really sweet. Okay, something I really wish the editors wouldn't do, this is across all Bravo shows, they said something about, you know, we'll have a kid someday, and they're like, is this an announcement? And they're like, no, we're not pregnant. And so they cut to Amanda clearly just answering a producer's question about like, when are you going to get pregnant? Yeah. So she's clearly just answering their question like, oh, well, I haven't got my period yet, but you know, we're not in any, you know, we're not ready to have kids yet. We're fine with our dogs. But they add in this like ominous music to make it seem like this is some serious conversation.
Yeah.
If they didn't add that music, it would just feel like her answering a question, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to, it's not an emergency. And I think that's what it always has to be treated like. Like this is some emergency. It's like, no, normalize. They just got married. She's still really young. It's just her answering your fucking question.
Yeah.
Don't paint this storyline.
That's what it seems like. That's the whole thing. I don't know if not Paige, Amanda and her producer came up with it or something, but like,
yeah,
like, is it, they're giving her this, like, almost feels like a Melissa Gorga storyline where it's like, well, we don't know what your role what your purpose is. So it's going to be you thinking that you might not be able to have kids, which I don't really think that's what she's thinking right now. I think it's just like I don't know. This seems
I actually, now that I think about it, don't even need them to have a storyline. I do kind of enjoy them just being at Winter House, like happy and not annoying.
I agree. That's why I think this whole
for once,
this whole baby thing is an unnecessary.
We can drop it. They've contributed enough year after year.
Yeah,
I don't mind them. Just, we don't need to cut to this like very antiquated, like, we just got married a month ago. Will we have kids? I'm like, who cares?
Can I have kids? It's like,
you just got off birth control like a
your body
month ago.
Your body is adjusting.
Yeah. So, and she's not even worried, but let's like stop pretending.
Yeah. I wasn't mad about it, but until you brought it up, because now it's like in the forefront of my mind. But like I'm still not mad about it.
Yeah,
the storyline as of yet.
Yeah,
but we need to just nip it in the bud. Like,
let's see what they do on Summer House, right?
Yeah, like we don't need it. Let's not continue it. Like it's a storyline that they've put out there. It's not working for us. Like, let's drop it.
Totally. All right, so Jess is getting ready for her double date. Rachel's a great friend. Rachel's like, you look hot. Like, she's a good hype girl. I really like Rachel. I really would like more of Rachel. So that's me putting in my 2 cents there. Corey says that he likes Jess because she's blonde. She's a nerd with all her crypto stuff. And she's got great boobs. Okay. They go to the bowling alley and Jess refers to Craig as Corey to Corey. Paige is like, that's Corey.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Paige is now getting a little bit like, what is going on?
No, it's like a problem.
I don't think that she cared the first couple times, but then she's like, Jess keeps going out of her way. It's like, I keep doing it. It's like, okay, now I'm like, what's going on?
It's not even like, I don't think she's threatened that like she's or anything. It's just more like, get the fucking name right.
Yeah, it's like,
how dumb are you?
It's one of those things where you're starting. I feel like Paige is like, are you actually stupid?
Yeah, you've already had sex with him, so like get his name right.
Yeah, it's just like annoying.
Called Corey. You called Craig Corey to Corey. Like,
it just feels really stupid. The thing is, and when I say this, I'm a person that is terrible at names, but then I don't know. This is
that's dumb.
This is getting a little
that was too far.
Like comical. Like, this is like she thinks it's cute to do it, and it's not. Doesn't feel like, I don't know. It just feels.
Oh no,
weird.
I don't think she thinks it's cute. I actually think she's genuinely not getting it right, which is alarming.
Okay, well, I hope it is that.
I'm like, are you not okay?
That's crazy.
I'm concerned. Like, we need to check this bitch out. Okay, Amanda and Kyle get home, and Amanda checks in with Sierra and Rachel, who are cozy in this big old bed. And Rachel lets them know that Jess has been feeling left out. And Amanda, her first response is, well, whenever I'm looking for her, she's with the guys. Which is probably true, because who else would she be with? Alone? At the bowling alley, Jess gives us a little insight. Her group of friends was homeschoolers. I was like, well, so what? Okay. So that makes,
huh?
So like no one? That was like a weird thing. Like so like only people that her parents hooked her up with, I guess.
Yeah. Like I feel like I've heard that in the homeschooling community. It's a thing. It's like so you're homeschooled, but sometimes it's like you're homeschooled together. Like you have like a homeschool. You have a homeschool group.
Oh, I've never known that. Okay.
Homeschooling has always fascinated me. Because it's like, I thought about that. I remember one time I tried to convince my mom to homeschool because I just thought I could be in my pajamas all day. She's like, that's not going to be how it works, though. I was like.
You're like, oh, well, then I abort this mission.
Yeah.
This scene with Paige and Corey was cool. I liked it. Paige to Corey, she's like, are you having fun with her? And Corey's like, yeah. Are you liking her? And she's like, yeah, I like her. And then he goes, I know you like bonded like the first day and then you haven't like really talked that much after. And Paige is thrown off and she's like, yeah, is that what she said? And her face, the way she like kind of moves her mouth like, okay. He's like, yeah, she says that you guys exclude her. Ooh, big word, exclude. And she's like, I try to include her in literally everything. And then she says the line, I went into Jessica's room and said, you can shower in my bathroom. That is the most inclusive. I mean, it's true. It is. But this was like the perfect way to plant this seed. Because the way Paige, like it's just bringing out like a fun, it's nice to see her on her own. She doesn't have Lindsay dominating. She doesn't have Hannah dominating. It's only her. Kind of the lead for once. Yeah. So it's nice to see how she handles it. And I'm enjoying. And I don't have to say this because she's blocked me.
Honestly, I'm enjoying everything about this because I do kind of like, it's funny. That's why I think I always like, I like Paige. I do like Paige. I just don't like her when she's sometimes with all of the other girls because she like, it's like that, like the Beverly Hills mentality where they have the alliances and it's just like, it shuts everything down and we can't really have like a progressive show and we can't really see a lot of dynamics. And I'm getting to see a lot more of Paige and it's
I view her
so
as
much
the
fun.
Villain.
Yeah, and but the thing is, I love a villain. Exactly. I love a villain.
Exactly.
And she's just doing it for me. She's really doing it for me this season.
Yeah. Totally.
Like
the way she was like, the way she was like listening to Corey, she's like, okay. It was almost like she's planning. She was like, got it.
Honestly, I'm like really, I feel like I would be Paige.
Okay. I see that for you.
Whole situation.
Yeah.
Because she's really like, she is a villain, but she's really not doing anything villainous yet. And it's like, when you are a villain and you're not doing anything villainous yet, and then someone is going around saying you're being a villain, like, I'll fucking show you.
See?
What a fuck. Like, you're like, okay. Bitch, I said you could shower in my shower. What did you? Oh, all right. I talked about my bagel and my hot sauce with you. You think I just... All right, Lindsay 2.0. At least Lindsay gave a little bit more like backbone. Let's go. I will annihilate you, bitch. Actually, if I was Paige, I probably couldn't wait until Lindsay came in the house and I would just be like, destroy her. like
Lindsay, guess what she said?
Yeah. And just watch it. Regina George it, like throw all the burn book papers up in the air. Let's go.
Yes. Totally. All right, back at the house, Austin, Amanda, and Jason download on the Rachel situation, and Jason's like, yeah, I'm just like taking it slow, whatever. Austin's like, you're so mature, Jason. You're so mature. Anyway, I'm thinking about bringing Olivia here. Speaking of not mature, but fucking Amanda with the total crash and burn. She's like, oh, that would be great.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you do it?
Amanda?
Like, oh, I know. She was freaking out later.
Watching this was like slow motion car crash. I was like, no, big mistake.
Amanda always fucks up with
with Sierra, with her friends. Always.
Because it's like, I know what your friends need. You don't give permission for Austin to bring his current girlfriend when you know Sierra. Like, I mean, I know she knows. I genuinely think that she thought, because Sierra has been saying that she's over it, that it would be fine. It would be fine, but like, no. Still, on what planet? It doesn't matter how many times I say I'm fine. Do you think I really want to be in a house with this man and his girl and I'm alone? I don't even have Corey because fucking Lindsay 2.0 took him, and I'm like, that's already PTSD for me. Like,
did you hear Austin's like, I mean, I'll run it by Sierra, obviously, but Amanda even goes, well, that's your call.
Oh, yeah. She's going to get fucked. She's going to get fucked. But she's lucky. I saw in Sierra's stories that she's not watching the season. So, but Paige is definitely going to tell her. So
you're fucked.
You're fucked.
They play that hammer, nail, wood game. Then the double date returns. And then Craig.
I was into that game.
Me too. I don't know why. I wanted to see how it ended.
Yeah, me too. I feel
What's
like
the point of it?
I want to just say this one thing. I feel like, and I feel really bad, I feel like no one besides like Kyle likes Luke in that fucking house.
Agreed.
And Luke has come up
Austin does.
In Austin, yes. Lucas, and they're the two that are always really into his games, by the way.
Yeah.
And Luke has gone out of his way to make up some, not make up, but like present some really fun like winter activities that I'm actually super into. I love a game. And they were into some of them, but like I can tell that like they sometimes purposely don't really want to play because it's Luke who made the idea. And I'm always like, that fucking looked fun. Like I would have loved to do the hammer and the nail thing.
I agree. It was so easy. It just stood there and tried to hit it, and then that's it.
I've watched a whole TikTok thing of like at a family reunion when they did that at like a family reunion, and I watched it. It was like a 10-minute video. I swear to God, I watched the whole thing because I was so what side was gonna win because they did it like.
Is it to try to get the nail all the way down?
Yeah, you have to get it all the way down, and it's hard. It's hard,
yeah, dude.
And I was into it.
Yeah, so. They're all haters. Then Craig, but Craig comes and tries to do it, and he completely misses the entire wood block.
He would.
He would. All right. So Amanda immediately tells Sierra about Austin inviting Olivia, and immediately regrets that because Sierra's face is like, what? And she's like, okay, I thought you guys were in a better place. Maybe I misread the situation.
Panic all over Amanda's face, as she should, because she not only is telling Sierra about Austin's plans on asking Olivia to come, but she encouraged it.
She was like, you don't even need to tell Sierra. Just bring her.
Oh, man.
And Sierra's like, well, it's not about being in a better place, but he would hate if I brought a guy. And then Paige even adds it. She's like, it would be weird. How would it not be weird? I'm like, Paige is really rubbing it in.
Amanda's like, I literally saw, she was like, I fucked up.
Fucked up so bad. And then in Sierra's confessional, she's like, Austin has been flirting with me, but go ahead, bring her and fuck it up early for her. As if Sierra has had some like long relationship with Austin. Like they were together for 2 weeks on Winter House and then like fooled around a little bit, like in a couple summer. You know what I mean? It's not like they have had some like long standing relationship. It's not like Madison.
Right. What the problem is because it's like been at least a year now. She's almost accumulating. Well, we've been in this weird relationship for like a year. No, you've had moments within the year.
Yes.
A handful of moments.
And you've turned this. He's made it pretty damn clear. We've watched him make it clear to you on Summer House that he's like, no, this is not a full thing. You've turned it into more and you're holding on to way too much hope.
Yeah.
And he's told you repeatedly, like, I don't really care that much.
Yeah. She created the narrative that they had this like big love affair, and he essentially has to kind of go with that narrative because that's Paige and Craig have co-signed to that.
Yep.
So it's like for him to fight it at this point, and he looked like a player, I guess, last year, but he just has to kind of like accept that part. And the thing is, he has been. Sierra's beautiful, and he has had feelings for her in the past. So I'm not, and he is a fuck up. So I'm not surprised at some of the things that he's done so far in the house, and I actually. Sounds terrible, but for Austin, not that bad. Like, it's just dumb shit. Like, yes, like if you're talking to somebody, should you say looked at her boobs again? 100% sure he was tripping balls. So he's probably said that about other people, but we didn't hear it because guess what? That's not the story, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I guarantee he probably said it about Amanda, but
he maybe even said it about Paige.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
Maybe that's what he was saying to Craig. Sorry, I just looked at her boobs again. Maybe
yeah,
that's what he was saying.
So I'm not like, I think again, I feel like Sierra's doing that thing again where she is not over it and she's still a little salty and she doesn't have an Olivia. She isn't right now, at least to our knowledge.
And she should have at this point.
Right.
I wish she had brought a guy.
Right. And I feel like when she said that he would be mad, I'm like, I kind of was like, would he? I think he would be like, like any guy would.
Yeah.
But mad, no, I don't think so.
Not mad.
Not the way in which you think he would be.
Not mad at all.
No.
Nope. He'd probably be relieved, in kind of, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think, I think that they're trying, and then like Paige, like they keep hyping her up about this, like look at how he's been all over her. I'm like, I wouldn't say that. Like that's not what I would say from the footage that we've seen. I don't know if they're not showing us everything, but like what I've seen is like he's trying to make sure they're in a good place, so it's not going to be an awkward winter house. So he got the conversation out early, and I feel like in his way, if he does flirtatious things, it's like we're cool, like we're like fine, like that's his way of like only way he knows how to be her friend.
Yeah, totally.
But I feel like they're reading into it. And then he says in his confessional that he's like, sorry, like Olivia is who I really want to be with right now. So like I like Sierra, but like not like the way I like Olivia. Like I actually want to pursue a relationship with her.
And her saying that she wouldn't bring a guy around because like she even says, she's like, he's jeopardizing our friendship by bringing him around. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense. First of all, you guys don't have a friendship.
Sense.
You said that you guys didn't have a friendship when you came into this house. You guys just kind of like, we're going to make up and we're going to start a friendship, but you don't really have a friendship. And it like also, again, sorry, Sierra, at that point, he was wanting to have a relationship with Olivia. And he would be jeopardizing his friendship for her because you guys don't really have that deep root of a friendship. Exactly.
So, yeah, none of this makes sense. It would have been great if you had a guy come and throw in his face.
She needs to move on. And the problem is she should have talked to Corey more, but I think she was too scared to because she
wanted to leave that option open for Austin. She wanted to let Austin know, I am available in case you want to try again.
Right.
That's what she was doing.
Absolutely. And then homegirl Jess swooped in.
And Austin's like, no, I have a girlfriend, basically.
Yeah.
And she's like a real one? And he's like, kind of, yeah, I'm going to bring her. So anyway, they go back to the scene. Sierra's like, that's fine if she comes, but I will leave.
I hated when she said that.
Me too. I was like, you can't say it's fine if she comes, but you will leave. That's not fine.
Well, that means she can't come because she can't come because you're the cast member. And
like,
then you think Amanda and Paige are gonna let you leave. It's gonna be a whole thing. I don't like that because like, come on,
that was a childish thing to say. And then, but Amanda's now panicked. She's like, I didn't realize I didn't get that. And then Sierra gets up. Amanda, full panic.
She's panicked.
Full panic. And then Paige just like sits there like, and Amanda's like, okay, I am now going to be 86th from the group. Like, I'm done. They're going to kick me out. So then they go and they talk in the room. The first thing Amanda walks in, she's like, are you mad at me? I'm like, oh, you're scared.
Amanda is such a Gretchen Wieners.
Yep.
Like, it's insane.
Yep. But Sierra's like, I just want to go home.
Why?
Why, dude? Like, you at this point, you technically should have known already that Austin said he had a girlfriend. He talked about it his first night at the dinner. The first dinner they had when Austin was in the house, he talked about how he had a girlfriend and he said her name. He said Olivia. He talked about it. You are the one thinking that you're flirting with him means something. You're the one doing that.
Yeah.
I know that he's feeding into it. I'm not taking the onus off him. I'm really not, because I know. But that's the problem. Austin's a flirty guy.
He is.
That sucks. He's really good at it. And
he was even doing it with Madison at the reunion, and Olivia was like,
yeah,
what is happening right now? Both of you.
Yeah, both of you.
And they're both like that. And I think that's why Madison and Austin lasted so long, because they're so similar in that way.
Yeah, it's true. Oh my God, dude. Luke and his fucking guitar singing voice.
God.
It's really bad.
Well, he does remind me of like Tom Sandoval and his like trumpet.
No, okay, but Tom Sandoval, his singing voice is not half as bad as Luke's. Luke's is like, and a man, like it has that tone to it. I can't with that. That voice is really bad. All right, so Rachel's gonna host the garden party tomorrow, and they kind of go to bed early. But then this moment with Jess and Corey is where it's like, this is just fucked up. Because she goes, want to make a sex tape, meaning they're not going to cover the camera in the room. And he goes, no. She's like, what? He's like, blood freaks me out. She says, I have a tampon in. He's like, gross. And then he goes, give me head. She goes, I'll give you head. And then they do it without the camera cover. But the camera covered, so they have to blur the thing out, meaning that they now have footage of this. I'm telling you, this woman has issues, because like this is a lot to be doing for some guy right away, and he's taking full. Do you see what I'm saying? He's taking full advantage of this.
No, he is.
It's not good. And then the next morning, he's like, "Get in here," and then she like gets in there and talks about like coffee or whatever, and then she's flashing him her tits. It's gross. It's grossing me out.
I mean.
Grossing me out. All right. The girls go to get flowers, and Rachel's like naming off all these different flowers, and Jess is like, that's a lot of names. I can't remember that. And Paige goes, yeah, we know that names are not your strong suit.
That was funny.
That was so funny. But it takes Jess a minute to like figure out what she's like, what? I'm like, God, girl.
Yeah,
that homeschooling did not work for you.
No.
All right. They're back. They're setting up the party. Craig goes, where's Paige? And Jess says, in Sierra's room. Fuck, dude. This whole thing where like Amanda blocks Craig from coming in. He's like, can I get a hug? And there's like, no, later. And then like Jess comes in a couple seconds later. He's like, is this a bad time? And Amanda's like, I was just saying that like I figured out like, oh, if Craig doesn't know where Paige is, that means she's hiding from him. And so, but you were like, oh, she's in Sierra's room, so I had to like block him. Yeah, so you'll learn. Like, okay, now we are getting a little rude. Like,
yeah, no,
guys.
But it was Amanda who did. Amanda did that
because Amanda is scared. Because she's traumatized due to what she did earlier.
Working overtime. Mm-hmm. She is doing some making up. She's projecting. So she's like, I fucking fucked up really bad, and I know the rumblings, because I'm sure they've had their little off conversation about how they heard Jess was talking shit about them, right? And so like, she was like, I got to throw her under the bus here.
Yeah. She's like, I'll sacrifice whoever I have to.
Yeah, she's like, because that felt like a intentional sacrifice.
Yeah.
Feed them. They were hungry. The hyenas were hungry. They needed someone to eat up, and she was on the chopping block, and she saw Jess and threw her straight to them.
She said first she threw herself in front of Craig to block him from coming in, and she was like, I knew when Craig couldn't find you that you must have been hiding, but I heard Jess, she told him you were in here, so I threw myself in front of this door to block him from coming in, but that idiot Jess told him where you were. And Jess comes in, oh my God, you'll learn, idiot, right?
Yeah.
This idiot, she's not like me who knows better.
Yeah, she was really working hard there.
Wait. Rachel decorating with these flowers. I could watch this all day. She needs a YouTube channel.
Great.
Yeah, she totally.
I think this is gonna be so good for her business.
So good. Totally. Kyle doing Austin's makeup was fan-fucking-tastic. Austin looks at it and he goes, I look like the dirtiest little whore. He did. It looked great. All right, so Jess and Rachel are talking on the couch, and this is when she goes, I'm just having such a hard time breaking into the group. Like I never get complimented, and I walk in the room and they don't even want to look. Bitch. Okay, here's the problem with what you just said.
God.
I get, okay, so here's the deal. I get like, let's say it's you, me, and another friend, and then Jess. All right. So let's say we're like, oh my God, Pia, I love that top. Oh my God, Bailey, you look so good. I love your pants. And then Jess walks in, we're like, hey, girl. She's like, what about my clothes?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That may not feel great. But if you're not making an effort, but they're still saying, hey, and they're still talking to you, like, what are you talking? Like, this is such a specific thing that you're saying you need them to compliment you.
Yeah, that's definitely sounding like, and I think she says it just sounding like some like trauma from things that she's bringing up that she's had to deal with other girls in her past. And she's putting it onto these women who have nothing to do with her past and her past trauma. And they're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Also, you're all like, let's just, sorry to say it, you're Paige and Sierra and even Amanda, they're very like outfit, like they plan a look. I can't say that you do the same, like Jess, like from what I've seen, and that's not to be rude, but their like level of like caring about their wardrobe is so high that you like have to bring the looks.
Yeah.
And even like Rachel, I don't necessarily love her style, but she goes for it.
She
does.
Like,
so I can like, it stands out like what Jess's outfits, they're nothing like in comparison to the other ladies. It's nothing like forgettable. I couldn't tell you one thing she wore.
Me too. And then, but this is such an on point confessional. She says that she thinks Jess is actually the one who's intimidated. Because I think Jess was like, they think they're intimidated by me. That's what she says.
Yeah.
And Rachel's like, no, Jess is intimidated. She's like, just knock on the door and they will let you in. They are just not the type of girls that will coddle you. That is it. That is what it is. These are not the girls that are going to say, come and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Come on. They are a tight group. They are TV stars.
Yeah.
That's who they are. You want to go get to know them? Go get to know them. Let them know to trust you.
Yeah.
So do what I'm doing, which is just follow my lead. And I'm not having a problem. And I feel like I'm connected.
Yeah. Rachel is not having a problem at all. Like, I mean, she may have initially been like,
yeah, like it's a little tough, but I'm fine now.
But then I feel like what Rachel did with the conversation she had with Jess earlier on was she was like, I'm going to change something about this.
Exactly.
And Jessica did not. She
just complained about it.
And it feels like she wants to complain about it. She doesn't want to do anything about it.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I have sympathy for you. Like I said, you're clearly triggered. You have not worked through these issues. You look like a little 15-year-old to me, but you are just not doing anything proactive, but complain and be like, pouty. Like this is if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. It's like, this is Jess all the time.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I'm like, stop. Ew. All right, so now Rachel gives this sweet speech thanking them for welcoming her into their world. So she wanted to bring them into her world. It's really cute. And then Jason brings out the shots that Craig made. And they're like, Craig? He's like, yeah. And then Paige takes it. She's like, ew, Craig, was this absinthe? He's like, cut absinthe. It's like, of course, Craig made the most like, no, you don't make absinthe shots without warning people. Absinthe is fucking intense.
I've never had absinthe.
Oh, God. Not a fan, but you need to be warned.
Okay. I've heard.
It's like you don't just give people when you're going to hand like welcome shots to people. I'm sure they are going to assume it's like, I don't know, a normal shot. I don't know, like a mixed thing.
Yeah.
Absinthe is not you don't throw absinthe in something.
I can only remember.
And by the way, absinthe is supposed to be enjoyed like in a very thorough setting. Like it's like a whole process. You don't throw absinthe in welcome shots.
Yeah, the only time I ever remember seeing anybody take absinthe was on Vanderpump Rules when Jax and James did it, and it was hilarious. They just kept
they were so funny.
The editors did stuff to it as well, but it was just a fun scene. They're just like, whoa.
Yeah, that was awesome. They have a lovely conversation at dinner. It was like really mellow, just talking about what their days were like. And then at one point, Rachel goes into the kitchen to thank Jason for cooking and hugs him, and then he clearly like tries to kiss her, and she's like, no. It was so awkward. She's like, I've decided I'm definitely not going to kiss you again. The makeout from the other night was
it was one and done.
She's like, it wasn't good, basically is what she's saying. She's like, didn't feel it, wasn't into it.
She's really trying though, because it's like she doesn't want to be bored in this house, and he's just like
if she's not like blackout drunk like in the dark, she doesn't want to kiss him. Yes. Because it was too bright in that kitchen. She's like, yes, no, not here.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to just kiss you. Like, I want to like only make out when we're drunk.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Then everyone goes to change and like put on cozies, and Austin pulls Sierra aside to talk. And he's like, look, I was always planning on talking to you about it first, but I'm sure you've heard. And Sierra's like, my first reaction with this was like, wow, this dude does not give a fuck about me at all. And then she refers to how he made a fool of her over the summer. And they like got to this just savagery of Summer House. But then she goes, you would be shitting yourself if I was hooking up with someone else. And Austin's like, that's not up to me anymore, Sierra. The way he said her name, I don't know, like there was something about like adding the Sierra on the end of that sentence that was like sort of like, oof, that kind of hurt.
Yeah, because it felt like she was like, oh no, you know.
Oh!
I feel like that was his wake up. That conversation was such a wake up call. I felt him sober up in that moment, like, no.
That's not up to me anymore, Sierra.
He was like, I see where this is going. No, we're not. No. Like the flirty, this is all in fun. Like, no. Oh, no. You thought, no. No. Like,
it got very serious when he gave the Sierra.
Like, no, Sierra.
It's not up to me anymore.
We're on
Sierra.
a TV show. We're just having fun. Like, Sierra, no.
Oof, yeah. And she's like, but I wouldn't, like, out of respect for you.
I feel like he's like, oh, God, this is getting worse.
He's like, oh, shit. But then she's like, would she even be comfortable coming here? And he's like, no, she would not. And I abort this plan.
Yes.
It was just a panic move when I found out we were talking for a while when I was blacked out. And I had no idea what we were talking about. And I freaked out, but I will definitely not. But then in his confessional, it was so funny. He's like, I just get oblivious sometimes. You know, it's like, it's not my fault. And that's the point of Austin. Don't date Austin. Just observe him from an audience perspective, and then you'll find him funny.
Yeah.
He's like, everything had been going so well that I didn't see. It really wasn't going so well for Sierra. Sierra was fully reading into everything that was happening as like, we could hook up again. And he's like, I didn't see this being an issue. I mean, clearly neither did Amanda. I think like the only person who didn't see it was Sierra and Paige.
Well, and I don't
know,
Craig. Paige and Craig, that's why I get annoyed. Paige and Craig do not. They just want to feed into this, like, Paige just wants Sierra to do, like, to have whatever Sierra wants. Mm-hmm. So she's like, I mean, yeah, he is talking to you. Like, I mean, what does he think that's what it means? Like, why else would you guys be doing that? And Craig knows exactly what's happening and thinks it's funny to put Austin in terrible situations on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But I feel like Sierra is becoming, and she would hate to hear this, but Lindsay, where like Sierra's, I feel like Lindsay in Winter House last year with Austin, where it's like Austin and Lindsay had like these like, you know, moments, and Lindsay ran with it, came into Winter House last year thinking that they were going to be a thing. And he was like, Lindsay. Like he's doing the same thing to like, it's, you know what I mean? Like,
well then Sierra needs to do what Lindsay did and find another hookup.
That's what I mean. Like
she needs to
both Sierra and Lindsay got like Austin. And Austin only so far has wanted to be in a relationship with two people, Madison and Olivia. You know why? Because Madison and Olivia have both that same type of energy. That same. Madison more so.
No.
I feel like Madison more so. I'm saying in the energy of like, I feel like Olivia would be like, I'm also okay with not being with you and never speaking to you again. Like, and I feel like that's you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Do you see? Yep, that's what I mean. I'm not saying that.
Got you.
Okay, right?
Totally.
And then
like,
Sierra and Lindsay have that.
I don't give a fuck about you, and the other two are like, I want you.
Yes.
Totally. Because it helps him with his non-committal side.
Yes.
Yep. Totally. It's like it doesn't scare him because he's like, I freak out with commitment.
And then like Olivia's like, okay, then I'm gonna go and bring somebody to this date. Like what Sierra should be doing.
Yeah. Yep.
Idiots.
I mean, Olivia still did kind of fuck up though, because Olivia brought a date, but then was like, this date was just supposed to make you like me. And she didn't know how to play the long game with Austin.
True.
The date was supposed to make him like her, but when it didn't and he went and hooked up with Sierra, that was really what was going to happen. Like, if you're going to fuck with Austin like that, that's what he's going to go do because he's toxic.
Because that's what Madison, like that's their...
Exactly. So instead of her playing the long game and being like, all right, got to ride this one out, and like doing another move, she was like, but I like you. Why don't you like me? Let's date. And I was like, oh, already? Wrong move. Wrong move. But that's another show. Focus. All right. So Rachel pulls Sierra and Paige aside, and she tells them that Jess thinks they're still being, and she uses the term mean girls.
Triggering.
And this is where Paige is like, fuck. I just accused Danielle and Lindsay of being mean girls last season. I just said that she said there's a reason why all the new people hang out with us and not you guys. Like, this is not the narrative she can have being spun. First, she had to deal with Craig being crazy. Now she's got to deal with this. So part of this is definitely that in this whole situation.
You're right. Because like Paige is having like the worst nightmare of her life. She's in a relationship that she complained about that's very similar to Amanda and Kyle. Yep. And she is now being accused of the same dynamics that she accused Lindsay and Danielle of having with ostracizing new people. Yep. She's living her worst nightmare right now.
Worst nightmare. But Rachel also says, I hear we're not complimenting her enough, which is like, huh? And so Sierra, of course, is like, well, she's isolating herself and very after the guys. And here comes Paige. Paige has flipped into full mean girl. She's like, maybe I was being mean girl when my boyfriend stuck up for her. Or maybe I was being mean girl when she cried to me in my bedroom. Now I'm pissed. I don't need a Lindsay 2.0. And I went, ding, ding, ding. How is this girl a Lindsay 2.0? She's not. None of this is actually Lindsay characteristics because Lindsay was never needy like this or anything. Lindsay just did her own thing. She never once complained about them being, quote, mean girls at all. Yeah. She just did her own thing. You're just saying Lindsay 2.0 because now someone is against you and you were really excited to do an entire show without anybody against you.
Yeah.
And now you are redirecting your anger towards... This could have been, to be honest, it could have been kind of easy. Because she could have just been like, Jess, like, I don't dislike you. Like, let's just fucking hang out. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. But now the extra rage is going to be a few things. Paige confessional. I have gotten this since second grade, which cracks me up because to me, I'm like, well, then maybe take the note that you can come off bitchy. Like, my best friend Heather has the worst first impression. She, like, literally anyone who meets, not anyone, but I first met her and was like, this fucking bitch. This was like 15 years ago, but she comes off really bitchy and she knows it. So if you tell her like, when I first met you, you were a bitch, she's like, I know. Everyone always tells me that. As we're Paige being mad about it, like, I think it's because I'm so quiet when you first meet me that people think I'm a bitch. And then I'm like funny and like sarcastic. And it's like, but I'm sick of being like Regina George when I'm so not. Okay.
You are, though. You are Regina George. But
take the note. You know what I mean?
You know what? She's right. She's not Regina George. She's Lindsay Lohan's character, Caddy. Because unlike
like Caddy, you called her Caddy.
It's Caddy.
That was a good insult.
It was like when the friend that gets Lindsay to, you know, infiltrate the mean girls, she's like, at least Regina George knows she's mean.
Yeah.
Like that's so maybe Paige isn't Regina George. Maybe she is
Katie Harrington.
Harrington. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So now Paige is activated. And so the girls go upstairs. I know, right? And Paige is coming in fucking hot. Because I don't know who, but someone's like, what were you guys talking about? Yeah, or whatever. And Jess doesn't realize. And Paige is like, I've been hearing shit you've been saying. Jess is like, me? She's like, and Paige with a neck roll. She's like, yeah. You've been saying we're like mean girls. I feel like I've gone out of my way to be nice. I'm like, okay, so already you're going to terrify this person.
Oh yeah, she's
like, you're going to scare the shit out of her now. Rather than coming from a place of like, I don't know why you feel left out. I'm not trying to make you feel left out. I have got this note though before where people think I am mean and I'm not mean. Like I've got this note though since second grade where people think I'm a mean girl. I'm not a mean girl. No. Let's not do that. No. She's going to give us mean girl. So Jess is like, I'm not like running my mouth, but like when I walk in a room and I'm not noticed or complimented or it's a different vibe, I'm like, okay, Jess, you really need to stop saying complimented like as a form of attention that you're supposed to be getting.
Yeah, because it's coming off like, am I supposed to, every time I walk in, beautiful Jessica.
Jess.
How radiant your golden locks look. Like the fuck am I supposed to say?
Be doing to you?
Just trying to eat my bagel with bacon and hot sauce. That's a bitch.
But then she does say, maybe it's an insecurity from my childhood. And I'm like, okay, this could have opened the doors for Paige to go, you know what? I also have some shit too. She's like, I just feel like I'm walking into like high school and I don't fit in. Taking a lot on right there. And then, but then in her confessional, she goes, my childhood friend went to private school and turned on me. And it was hard for me to trust after that. I'm like, okay. Proof again that she looks like a child to me. And I'm like, okay, this is where I feel my age. But I'm like, to trust after your childhood friend turned on you, that's a long time ago, girl.
Yeah, like, get over it.
That's a long time ago.
How many people are still like best friends with the person they were friends with in second grade?
You're still traumatized by that. What other things have happened that have you like caused you not to trust?
She's like, emotionally stunted.
Exactly. So that Paige is like, Rachel, I just met her a few days ago and I'm cool with her. I'm like, oh no, now you're adding to the feeling of her being left out.
Yeah.
Now you're pointing out other people that are fine with her. Okay, great. But Amanda takes the compassionate route. She's like, just sit down, very warm. And then Jess goes, I just don't feel like I've connected with you guys. And Paige, I genuinely don't feel like that. Jess is like, it's the way that I feel that I don't fit in. Oh God, Paige. Paige is a great performance. Have you ever once checked in on me? Have I ever once checked in on you? Abso-fucking-lutely. So I am done. And then she stands up on the bed and like walks over the bed. I'm so done with the mean girl shit. I'm so done with people calling me out. You want to see mean girl? I'll show you a fucking mean girl. Okay, girl. Okay.
It was good though.
It was great. It was a great, like,
I'm interested for next episode.
Yeah. And everyone though was like, whoa. Like even the people that were supposed to be like backing up Paige, they were like, oh, we weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That wasn't, okay, well, all right. So it's probably going to get squashed, my prediction is it's not going to be as big of a deal as it seems. Most likely, the girls, this is my prediction, the girls that are left in the room will talk, and it'll just be explained like, we're really not trying to exclude you. And Paige will calm down, and it'll be like, okay, like, I'm really not trying to exclude you. It's just like, I've heard this forever. Like, I'm not a mean girl, like that kind of thing. And then it'll die down, because when Lindsay shows up, it's going to be about that.
Yeah, they can't have she's not important enough for them to.
Right. And even if it's not like squash, it's just not going to be as huge of a deal.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, see, Paige is showing up to work finally.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's because I think the stress of Craig, it's bringing it out in her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here for this.
Me too.
I don't know if I really give a shit about Austin being like, Lindsay's dick was on my cock at the wedding. I'm like, I don't care. They're fine now.
Yeah. I think that this is a problem with Winter House. Like, there's and if you follow them on social media, if you watch BravoCon, we know they're fine. So whatever happens, whatever bomb Austin is wanting to drop did not affect the relationship one iota. So they go on to get engaged after that, because they're not engaged at that point in Winter House. So it's like, it kind of like takes the wind out of whatever they're trying to tease us with, because it's like, I know what happens at the end of this all.
And also, question, okay, as if Austin, Craig, as if they're the ones to really be like, wow, at the beginning of a relationship, they were like not fully committed. That's every relationship they've ever been in.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying Austin's making anything up, but at the same time, it's like, it was so fresh. Who knew what both of them were thinking? We've seen both Carl and Lindsay act a fool in other relationships in the beginning. I'm not too worried about it. I think it's just something for everyone to be like petty over.
Yeah. So I think also this is because they were trying to prove that Lindsay and Carl were just for cameras.
Yeah.
This was a narrative they were trying to spin. So I think that's more what it's about.
I agree with you on that, because I'm like, why are we doing this? That makes sense.
So
I forgot that they really are trying to act as if that this is something like almost a contract relationship.
Yeah, because they think because Carl's sober now, so therefore not great TV, because when he was, drunk and crazy, he was great TV. But now that he's sober, it's like, well, he's probably not going to be asked back. So let's keep him on the show by having Lindsay and Carl date. And so they are trying to prove that it's just all for cameras, because Lindsay was like trying to fucking hook up with Austin. When, to be clear, like, because Craig was hooking up with other people when he got together with Paige.
Yeah.
It's
always different with Craig though. Craig has different rules. Like,
oh yeah.
No one gets to live by Craig's rules but Craig.
No, not so. So, anyway, that was a fun episode.
Yeah, I think that was probably the last two episodes. Again, the Toms, I think, really gave it the zest we needed.
Yeah,
and then they were poof gone.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know how many more episodes there could be. There were only 6 episodes last season.
Yeah, I feel like we're on 5 right now, aren't we?
So there may at most or maybe 2 episodes left.
Good, because I feel like once Winter House is done, some of our real favorites are going to, like, Vanderpump Rules will drop.
Please.
And then I think in the middle of Vanderpump's Rules season, we'll get Summer House.
Right? Which is good. That'll be a great thing to have in tandem, Summer House and Vanderpump.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that wraps us up. Follow Piaget at PiagetV on TikTok and Instagram. Like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Bye.